math fellow. I mean, Donkey Kong was pretty good at math. He could count bananas with the best of them. He would walk through and people would drop bananas on the ground, and Donkey Kong would say 9. And people would say, okay, I have 3 bananas, and now multiply that by 4. How many bananas do I have? Donkey Kong would look at him and go, 12. I mean, obviously, he had panache for mathematics. So, but how did he become a math fellow? I mean, that's perplexing. How would anybody go from being good at math to being called a math fellow? I mean, that leaves a lot of questions to be asked. I mean, why would that happen? So, what actually did happen, and I've got this on the authority of Mario. I mean, if Mario tells you something, you know that it's true. And I think that it speaks for itself. I mean, Luigi backed him up, but of course they're brothers, so, you take that as far as you can throw it, right? But, I actually think they're both right. So, how on earth did Donkey Kong become a math fellow? Well, that's an interesting story. I'm glad you asked. So, basically what's happening is Donkey Kong was hanging around with Frankenstein. Now, Frankenstein, to make it easier on him, because let's face it, the guy he's a dumpster fire. I mean, beyond all things said about him, the guy's a little bit slow. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but he's not the sharpest knife in the shed. You know what I'm saying? So, he doesn't really get common things. I mean, he actually has a brain they pulled out of somebody else. They merged it with the other stuff they combined to make Frankenstein, or Frank, as he's been known to be called. So, his brain isn't, used to his whole body. I mean, let's face it, Frank's a little bit slow. And his brain is not helping. I mean, I wouldn't say if you said, my left nose itches, he'd go like this. I don't know that. I can't say that for sure. I can say, your left hand makes an L. Can you do that, Frank? And he'd probably go like that. You're like, wait a minute. That's your right hand. It's your left hand that makes the L, man. So, it's an L to me, but when I look at it, that's not an L. This is an L. So, basically, that's where you get the whole loser thing from. Yeah, the right hand. Not left hand. The right hand. So, basically, then how did it come that Frank started calling Donkey Kong math fellow, and that caught on like a wildfire? How'd that happen? Well, Donkey Kong was, I'm good at math, and other people go, Mario would say, that Donkey Kong, he's a fellow that's good at math. And Frankenstein heard that, and he got it all kind of jumbled up. Can you really blame the guy? The guy is made of spare parts, for Christ's sake. How could you ever say that Frankenstein would be able to get anything right? Well, so Frankenstein, or Frank, he'd heard that Donkey Kong was a fellow that was good at math, but Frank, his brain works a little bit slower, so a fellow that's good at math became math fellow pretty quickly. And you tell me you're gonna go against Frank. I mean, I understand how people wouldn't do that. I mean, I'm kind of scared of the guy. you never quite know what he's gonna do. He's a monster, for goodness sake. So, if Frank wants to call Donkey Kong a math fellow, then guess what? Donkey Kong's a math fellow.